fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm so excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a review and 2 looks using the new Take Me to Istanbul palette from Mavie Cosmetics, which just looks like this. I'm extra excited to share this video with y'all because Mavie reached out to me and asked me if I would like to try their new Take Me To palette, and I was just so curious to see what it would end up being. I have purchased a few palettes from them in the past and I overall really enjoy them. I think they have really beautiful color schemes, they have something for everyone, and they have stunning packaging, so I was very excited. So this is actually the pre-buzz is what they called it. It starts today. So it's the 5th and I'm not probably going to be uploading this video at my normal time. I've been trying to do it at 10 a.m. Eastern time every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sundays normally a little bit earlier. But basically I just want to wait till they reveal the palette themselves and then I'll post this video. So if it's a little bit later than normal, that's why, but it'll be available to purchase on Thursday, which is the 8th. So normally all of their palettes retail for $23, so I'm assuming this will be the same, and I'm pretty sure if you sign up to their website you can get 10% off. Basically I was just a little bit too excited to have this video ready to go up and coordinate with whenever they post on their Instagram and reveal it, because I have an unhealthy obsession with makeup. But anyways, here is what the Take Me to Istanbul palette looks like. It is beautiful, and I don't know, I just love their series because it, like, the person in me, or like the part of my soul that like longs to travel, loves it, but also like the part of me that like overthinks just going to my mailbox likes having just like this little piece in a palette without actually having to go anywhere. So I really think it's adorable. It does have a nice little mirror in it. So this is the color scheme. I think it's a little bit unique just because the matte shades are so warm and rich and fiery, and then the shimmer shades for the most part are cool tones. So I think it kind of makes an interesting match and it makes interesting looks. I've had a lot of fun pairing these beautiful purples in conjunction with these like super rich warm tones. This one right here called Balat, which I apologize in advance, I'm probably going to be butchering these names throughout the entire video, but I'm trying my best. This is Balat and it's such a beautiful like rosy warm tone. It's really stunning. I'm really impressed with that one, just like as a unique shade basically. And then, of course, when you look at it, your eyes, or at least me being a color makeup lover, my eyes go to the purples. So there's like this really beautiful, just like a true purple, and it's called the Harem. And then there's this one, which is called Grand Bazaar, and it's like a purpley blue shade. I would call that one more of a topper. It looks kind of funny because I mixed some of blue moss in. I was kind of creating my own kind of colors today, but it's a purpley blue shift, and it's kind of weird because when you swatch it, I feel like you don't see, like when you swatch it on your hand, like it doesn't seem like that much, but when you actually kind of get it into the light and you kind of shift it around, it has such a beautiful blue shift to it. So I think it's really stunning. I do, because I'm a duochrome addict, have quite a lot of singles that kind of have this bluey purple shift to it, but I feel like you don't see that quite as much in a palette, and it's stunning. It's actually, oh my god, it's literally my nail polish, KL Polish Charmed. It's horrible. It's like chipping off. It's been on for weeks, but this is my nail polish in an eyeshadow. That's amazing. I just now realized. So I think that's a really beautiful color. Again, I feel like it's almost a little bit more of a topper because it's not quite as intense. It's more of like a soft shimmery, like it just gives that effect to it, but it's not like if you put it all over your lid, you're gonna have to build it up some. And I find that most of the shades in the palette are not like that. For example, For an Exchange is like super, super rich, pigmented, like bronzy shade, but it's a bronze that's more on the cool tone side, and you can see the difference between the shimmers. I would definitely call them a different formula. I need a baby wipe. And then there is Blue Mosque, which I thought because of the name, I was like, ooh, it's gonna be a blue shift, but it's not. It's just a really icy white shimmer. I feel like it's definitely like a super cool toned white, but I wouldn't say that I see blue reflex in it. It's just a true white shimmer, which I personally really enjoy. I use this as a highlighter and I think it looks really beautiful. Today I have it as a highlighter mixed in with Grand Bazaar, I think it was what it was called. So it's just a white with a tiny, tiny little tint of purple. So I think it looks really nice. And I mean, I know not everyone loves that kind of shade, but as someone who is extremely fair, I do appreciate super light shades like that and how you can mix them with other colors. Even I think if you have like a more medium or deeper skin tone, you could mix it with hot air balloons the way that I mixed it with Grand Bazaar. I mean, you could do that too, but hot air balloons and do like this like in between like champagne shade I think it would make. So hot air balloons is really beautiful. It's kind of like a pinky gold shift. It's a little bit softer, a little bit more like Grand Bazaar, but it does have a good amount of pigment to it. So there's what it looks like. Super pretty. I think that's a nice shade to throw in for anyone who just wants to do like a warm crease and then throw a warm shade on the lid. That one I think would be really, really beautiful in that situation. And then last but not least is the Harem, which is that other deeper purple. And this one, I feel like it performs more like a satin. Like it's definitely not super metallic. There's a shift to it, but I think when you apply it to the lid, it just doesn't look, even that I feel like makes it look more shimmery than it is. It's a satin for sure. See, I hope you can tell in comparison with the other shades I have swatched out, it just doesn't have as much texture to it. It's a lot softer, but it's still a really beautiful shade, and I think it's pretty. It definitely is really a pretty shade. I live for the purple tones mixed in here. So I don't know if I reviewed my other Mavie Cosmetics palettes, but I feel basically the same way about them as I do about this, and about this as I do about them, which is basically I feel like the shimmers are really nice. They're beautiful, they're pigmented, easy to work with. They're not the most metallic, crazy, intense shimmers by any means, but they are still beautiful, and I feel like there's just something about Mavie Cosmetics palettes that just feels so simplistic and so easy and beginner friendly, or like I just feel like every one of their color schemes are so well thought out and I could just pick up a palette and be like bam 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 done. I feel like they're easy. They're so easy. I use the Take Me to Paris palette literally all the time because I'm so into just softer pinky looks right now out of nowhere, so I love that one for like very everyday use. And I feel like this would be really great for everyday warm looks, and the warm tones in here, since we're going to start talking about the mattes, are so rich and just beautiful and easy to blend. I really enjoy the Mavie Cosmetics mattes. I feel like they're rich and beautiful and easy to blend. They're good mattes. Like I just love the matte where it's like I don't have any problems blending. I don't have any problem with it not sticking. I don't have to like do any weird things to make it work. They just work for me basically. So you've got, you know, a good little mixture of warm tones, but I will say that most of them are kind of on like the mid end. There's not like a super light matte and there's not a super deep matte. If I could change anything, I think I would make Turkish Coffee, this shade right here, a little bit of a deeper shade. They probably don't want to do repeats from their other palettes, so it makes sense and I can see the vibes that they're going for here. But because they are all warm mid-tone mattes, they do semi look similar. There's some differences. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them for you next to each other. I did full swatches. I don't know why I'm swatching them now, but I just feel the need to show you. So here is Turkish Coffee, which you can kind of use to deepen things up, but it's just, I wish it was a little bit darker. And then there's Balat right here, which that's the one that's like, it's like a rosewood type of color. I really like that. Spice Market has like some actual really pretty warmth, like depth to it. It's just such a stunning, like just rich orangey shade. And then Baklava is definitely the one that called to me probably the most, just because it's like that mustardy kind of orange. So there are all the mattes together. Pinky swatches are never as good as the other fingers, but you can see the difference. That's like between Baklava and Turkish Coffee. They're not the same, but those two I feel like are kind of similar, and because I like Baklava more and I'm hungry, that's the one that I would choose, and I would want Turkish Coffee to be just a touch darker to add a little bit more, make the palette rounded out a touch more. And these two I feel like are pretty different, like the rosy shade and then the like a very fiery orange. So overall I think the color scheme is beautiful. I think that the formula is really nice. I don't know if I could recommend this based on uniqueness. I definitely feel inspired when I look at the palette and I was like, ooh, how am I gonna make these work and what will I do with this? And you know, I was inspired by it and playing with it, But if you have a bunch of warm tones in your collection and you've got some pops of purple and you've got some pops of cool tone shimmers, I feel like you could definitely make similar looks. But if you are missing that, then this could be a really great addition. And I mean, any of the palettes that they have, I feel like if there's a color scheme that you really feel like you don't have, or you're just really wanting to try them, I think that they overall have really great quality shadows. So I like it. For me, I guess, I think I would give it an A-. It would be an A+ if there was one deeper shade, just a little bit deeper for a little bit extra dimension. That's my only gripe, even though that's not that important. It's just when I rate it, I try to rate it by itself. Of course, it would take 2 seconds for me to pull out another eyeshadow palette and add that into this, but not everybody has that, so that's why I try to rate it just as is. So A- for me. So that's my quick little review on the palette. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Now let's go ahead and jump on into the looks. Alright, so for the first look, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this shade right here called Blue Mosque. It's not the type of shade I normally start my looks off with. Normally I do all my matte work first, but I really want to do like some type of like blown out inner corner, so I thought it'd be a good idea to just highlight that first so that it just blends into whatever else is going to happen, and then I can add more and intensify it when I'm done if I want to. Just gonna pop a tiny little bit of that underneath my brow bone as well. Right now for my crease, I'm gonna go into this matte shade right here called Balat. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right into my crease. Just blend it out pretty softly. I'm gonna go ahead and take that same shade and just pop it along my lower lash line. I'm gonna grab just a tiny little touch of Turkish coffee, this brown right here, and I'm gonna pop that into my outer V just to add a tiny bit of definition. Then going with my previous brush and just making sure it's all blended out. I'm gonna grab the hot air balloons right here, which is like this really beautiful pinky gold shimmer, and I'm gonna grab that on the tiny little brush that I use for my lower lash line, and just gonna pop it right here. I think if you were doing a softer look, hot air balloons all over the lid with these shades would be really beautiful, but I really want to use the purples today, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this shade right here called the Harem, and I'm gonna use this shade on like the outer half of my lid and go ahead and fill it in, but also kind of just be soft about it so it's not like a really harsh line. I'm gonna take my smaller little blending brush and just lightly go over this edge here. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade right here called Grand Bazaar, and it's like this beautiful purpley blue duochrome. Just gonna take it on the same brush, no need to even wipe it off. I mean, they're both purples, and I'm gonna start this in the middle, so it's gonna kind of overlap anyways. So just popping that onto the front, oops, jeez, the front half of my lid. And then taking just a tiny bit more of Blue Mosque and just tapping that on. To finish off my eyes, I'm going to use the Ardency In liner in the shade Lilac and the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so to finish off this look, I'm going to go ahead and use Blue Mosque as my highlighter today. Just picking up a tiny little bit, and I'm going to pop that onto the very top of my cheekbone. Just for a really soft glow. And then for lipstick today, I'm going to go ahead and use the Linda Howry lipstick in the shade Pink Opal. Alright guys, so this is the finished first look with the palette. I really love how it turned out. I feel like it's such a pretty purple eye, but still so soft and wearable and everyday for someone who might not be as comfortable with color, or even if you just want to do like something like super soft glam. I really love how it turned out, so now let's go ahead and jump on into the second look. Alright, so for look number 2, I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here, which is called Baklava. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that right into my crease. And then just gonna softly blend out the edges. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take this orange right here called Spice Market, and I'm gonna pop that onto the outer part of the lower lash line just to start off with. I'm also going to take that shade on a little crease brush, and I'm going to start it off in my outer V just to add a little bit of that into the lid. It's really pretty. Just super, super rich warm tones. And forever since I did a look like this. I don't know why I'm suddenly switching up the order in which I do my eyeshadow, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do my inner corner, and I really want to mix Blue Mosque and Grand Bazaar together. I think that'll be a really pretty color, so I'm just going to kind of dip into both and just mix them. It's going to kind of leave a mark in the pan, but that's fine. And then I'm just going to pop that onto the inner corner. I think the white is showing up a little bit more than the purple, so maybe I'll add some more purple on over top. There we go. There's the purple. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the deeper purple here called the Harem, and I'm going to pop that onto my lower lash line right here for a little purple moment. I'm going to take a touch more of Spice Market, the shade that was on the lower lash line before, and just going to kind of blend this little area right here. These two shades actually mesh together pretty well because Spice Market has a really nice red, what's it called, like a red undertone, so it's not turning muddy. It's turning more into like a burgundy in between. Alright, now for the lid, I'm going to go ahead and start off with this shade right here called Foreign Exchange. So I'm going to go ahead and put this shade onto the center of my lid, which it looks to be such a beautiful deep bronze. So it could be beautiful all over the lid if that was what you were going for, but I'm trying to do something a little bit different today, so I'm going to go ahead and just start that off and blend it into the outer V just by tapping the shade in. I did get just a touch of fallout from the shimmer. I'm going to take my little crease brush and just make sure that it's nice and soft. And then I'm going to go ahead and take hot air balloons, and I'm going to pop that into the inner corner of my lid. I'm just going to blend it over into the bronze so that the two shades mesh together. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eyes with the Too Faced mascara and the Appeal gel liner in the shade Deep Taupe. Alright, so for highlighter today, I'm going to go ahead and go into Blue Mosque again. And I'm going to use that first as like my main highlight, and then I'll take a little bit of Grand Bazaar and top that over to kind of have my skin just match the inner corner. I think that'll be pretty. So there's what that looks like. It's a white with just a tiny, tiny little pinch of purple. And then for lips, I think I'm going to go ahead and... where'd I put it? I'm just going to go ahead and use the Jouer lip gloss in the shade Diamond Walk. Just putting it right over my lip oil. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!